And good morning, everyone. It is now about quarter to 10 o'clock on this Wednesday. It's Wednesday, halfway through the week here. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm wave meteorologist Brian Goode. Welcome to the blog update on this halfway through the week point. Everyone's looking forward to the weekend, holiday weekend. Maybe you have off for the entire holiday weekend. Some of you may have to work the entire holiday weekend. Either way, I'm sure the weather is something that you are curious about, especially when we have a tropical low that is still showing up in the outlook. So we're going to cover that trend and an update as well for the upcoming holiday weekend. And then I'll get you into the, for those that love the summer heat, what is coming our way as we head into next week. And there is certainly an interesting setup in the longer term, although for you farmers out there, you're not going to be too thrilled from what I'm about to tell you. All right, we'll get to that in just a second. First off, let's go live out to, let's see, Ali International. Let's go there. There's a live look at all the planes. I'm sure a lot of folks will be busy the next few days, catching their flights, getting out of town. Hey, I understand that. Or you may have somebody coming to visit you. It's certainly possible, but a little bit of haze out there this morning, but looking good. Temperatures have been nice and pleasant once again for this morning. Relatively quiet setup on the radar right now. We only have just a few mid-level clouds trying to sneak in, but notice the motion today is a little more northeast to southwest, not east to west. So a little bit of a change in the wind flow today. That'll be the trend this afternoon. We do have a cold front that's moving through right now. There is still a slight chance that this will try to squeeze out a sprinkle. That's it, just a sprinkle today as it moves on by. Here's the issue, though. The rain chance looks to be roughly 5%. That's even below what our systems would even catch to display for you guys. So I just don't think it's going to be much at all to talk about. Quite a bit of dry air moving through. But if you were to see a few raindrops briefly under windshield or when you're out in the garden today, don't be surprised. They just will likely be very brief and really just that. It's not going to add up to much at all in the rain bucket, as we say. More cloud cover to the north and west showing up. This is again, the actual front moving in. Won't have a ton, but I do think between 2 and 5 o'clock today, we will have more of a mostly cloudy sky as it moves in. That looks more likely as it dives in from the north. But the next front, that's the one that gets your attention. Look at its ability to clear out the air into the Great Lakes. Isn't that beautiful? Very dry air coming our way for this one. And it's roughly 24 hours away, less than that, from arriving. And you should know it when it arrives because we'll have a little bit of a wind at times, a little bit of a breeze. Refreshing breeze is what I'm talking about. Not an annoying, damaging wind that we've had so far this season. A little more of a calmer setup coming our way as we into Thursday. Highs for most of you will be into the 70s. Some of you will be like a 71 or 72, and some of you, like in the city of Louisville, probably about a 75, 76, something like that. But still about 10 off from where we will be this afternoon. We're still going to get in the 80s today, guys. It's still going to be quite warm. Will not be as Sweaty is that, I guess, is the right way to phrase it. Not as humid today, so you won't be sweating as much compared to yesterday. Yesterday, yeah, it had a little more of that humid feel. Trust me, even Harry told me that. Now, what's after this front? Well, we're going to cool down, and then we'll have to face what is going on into the tropics as you head down to the coast of the Carolinas. All right, here is the map version of what I just explained to you all. 80s today. You see only a couple green blips here and there, one or two. That's about it. The next front moves in. You'll really will not feel the coolness of this air mass until Thursday evening. So you will notice it's cooler outside during the day in general, I'm sure, tomorrow, but still 75, 76. In the sunlight, that's still going to feel warm. It will be quite dry. It'll be one of those days where the humidity will be low enough. You're walking across the carpet, you may shock somebody, that kind of thing. It's going to be a very dry setup as we head into your Thursday. Then we get into the evening hours. Once that takes place, then thermometer will actually be on a relatively steady drop, especially away from the city of Louisville. It's going to be a bit of a cool, I wouldn't say autumn feel, but you'll get that vibe that's different from what all the other nights we've had this week. Will be tomorrow night. Once we get into sunsets, things cool down. I still think we're going to talk about 40s for a lot of you as you wake up early on your Friday morning. Here in the city of Louisville, probably not that cool. But away from the city limits, I'm still seeing the data spit out 46s, 47s for temperatures. And I would enjoy that. I do not see that coming back. I would say for the rest of summer, but never know around here. But at least in the extended, yeah, nothing like that at all coming our way. So one more little cool wave. Soak it up, guys. Soak it up. And then we get into the Friday, into the holiday weekend scenario. Now, the trend on Friday has improved quite a bit from what it had. Even 30 hours ago, it was showing up much more of a threat for a few storms that would try to form moving in from the east. That trend has just continued. Every run I've looked at on the modeling is just drawing it up, drawing it up, drawing it up, gone. So looking good now for Friday. But what about Saturday and Sunday and Monday? Well, that's a good question because this tropical low, while it will likely not develop at all and become anything serious, it's the fact that it's so slow moving that it's going to cause just, man, what a mess for the Carolinas. If you have friends or family, or if you are heading there for Memorial Day weekend, not the best years, guys. I'm sorry. It is going to be rock and roll in there when it comes to heavier rain. Such thick cloud cover in the Carolinas. Highs this weekend may not get out of the 50s for the Carolinas because of the cloud cover and the rain. Yikes. It'll be much more of a windier scenario on the beaches, not so much inland. But even the Gulf Stream, a lot of people take, the shrimp boats. I've used to do that. When I lived in Charleston, you go out to the Gulf Stream with your friends, your family, and that would be a fun deep sea fishing type of day, all right? Spend the day out into the ocean. That ain't going to happen. The surf is going to be quite high. Probably will be several advisories that are out for small craft, especially to avoid the area. So not the best setups there for, again, the Carolinas. So, but what about us? Well, this will try to throw clouds our way just if it was the low pressure itself. But that's not the case. My voice cracked. Sorry about that. Still going through puberty. The low itself will actually split as we into Sunday. And for part of Memorial Day, we'll see it break free. And that piece that breaks free and heads to the northwest, that is what will likely increase our cloud cover. Now, typically in this track, you were only going to get the rain on the eastern side of it, not so much on the western side of it. So the air mass is certainly much drier because of our front that moves in later on tonight, early tomorrow. Because of that front, it laid the groundwork down for dry air in the Ohio Valley. So this tropical low is trying to pull itself into that. But the problem is it's dragging the ocean moisture with it on its right-hand side pulling in. That's not where the moisture will be for us because we'll still have the dry air relatively protective of our area. So it's going to have a battle to get rain on its other side. So because of that, and latitude and geography, we will likely stay dry. Cloud cover, though, will likely still move over us. That will be a little bit of a bummer if you're betting on a beautiful sunny setup at your favorite lake or cookout. You may get hints of sun, maybe more hazy sun, if you will, thin clouds. But I don't think it's going to be a lot of blue sky when this piece breaks free. Cloud cover is pretty likely to move over us, but it should be a high deck of clouds and not a low deck. Hopefully that helps. Rain chances right now, the more east you're traveling and southeast, really, you will run into a rain chance. It's as simple as that. Wherever you're at on the map right now, in wave country anyway, if you travel south and east this holiday weekend, especially Sunday and part of Monday, your chances to get some rain will be higher than if you were traveling north and west out of your area. So that's about as specific as I can get right now, but that's the general trend you will notice in your outlook based on your forecast that shows up on the Wave Weather app on your location. Okay. Once that happens, these two basically are battling it out by the time we get into Sunday and Memorial Day. Which one's going to lead the way, if you will, for the rest of the narrative? And the answer is yes, probably to both of them. They'll basically merge into just one big giant spin of clouds and moisture, but it'll drift a little more to the east and eventually fade away. And that's it for your holiday weekend. There you go. Pretty easy, right? Not a big storm scenario coming our way. There's just not a lot of energy here to really provide for anything dramatic in our area, which is good. We want everyone to have safe, want everyone to have fun. I wish it was a little more on the sunnier side. That'd be nice. It's unofficial kickoff this summer, right? But it could be worse. You could be in the Carolinas and dealing with 50-degree temperatures and rain. So there you go. So what then happens? Well, once they fade away, the true reality of summer is really going to kick in, okay? So this type of outlook right now from the Weather Prediction Center, this only takes us to, let's see, what is that, Wednesday? So a week from today. Notice there is not a single location in Wave Country that is expected to get measurable rain over the next week. And if you think this is going to go longer than that, you would be right. It will go longer than this. And that is the reason why the Weather Prediction Center, actually Climate Prediction Center, issued a statement, was it a week ago, I believe it was? I know I tweeted it out, but I can't remember what it was. But they were cautioning about an extreme switchover to a rapid drought onset in the Ohio Valley, at least areas just north of us in the Ohio Valley. I do think that is going to become an issue. Even as we get into mid-June, I see more fronts trying to drop down, but they just don't look like they have a lot of moisture with them at all. So unfortunately, we may be talking about dry weather, drought, all that lovely stuff that we tend to talk about in the summer months around here, especially the past couple, I do think will come into play again. Could be wrong. The data could be wrong, but the pattern, and it's certainly an El Nino pattern, is starting to fit that. We'll watch it for you guys. Now, this, of course, will come with heat. What is interesting is the pocket of heat that forms as we head into next week. Of course, it's always hot in the Southwest, right? But this pocket of heat is going to center itself right over Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, into Kentucky and Indiana. And that's it. It won't be as really hot north of that. Certainly even south of east of that, and northeast of that will not be as hot. It's like a pocket of heat that develops right over our area. And right now we're going to go with 90 to 92 based on the dry ground scenario. As I mentioned before, once you dry the ground out, your ability to get to 90 or higher starts to increase. And the longer you stay dry, the more into the 90s you can go in a heat wave scenario. But this will be our first 90. Our average is roughly the first week of June, so it's actually right on cue. It's not unheard of, right? This is good. So at least everything's lining up on the normal side there. But it is going to be hot. Some parts of Illinois and Missouri may hit 100. I'm not talking about a heat index. I'm talking about actual temperatures may get that hot into parts of the Midwest. Now that's pushing it. It's a little too much. But I do not see those numbers here, but just west of us, it is going to get hot. And by the way, the heat index for this round of heat is coming in about 93 to 96. So I think this will be a heat wave, if you will. And it's a mini one, because I do think a front will try to knock it down a bit toward next weekend. But usually you don't get 98 to 105, 110 heat indices until a little later into the summer when you build up a little more humidity. This one right now doesn't have a ton to work with. So that's at least somewhat some good news to share, as it won't be overly intense hot, but hey, 90s is 90s. All right, any questions on this? Pretty easy going, guys. Everything's just all about trying to figure out the rain chance for the weekend and cloud cover, but those are minor issues. I don't think it's going to be anything major at all coming our way. Next rain chance, Karen. I mean, there were chances in general. We may have a better chance actually when we get into the heat, just because you get a pop-up storm. You know, we won't have any moisture to even do that the next few days. But next week with the heat, we will. So we may actually get a few pop-ups in the extended. But that's what I'm talking about, just pop-up storms. There's not much. Those are hit or miss. Some of you can get lucky and get one. You can get one every day, but some of you will get missed the entire time. All right, that's it for now. We'll keep you updated on this. I'm going to have much more, of course, coming up on midday once we get a little more of the data trends there for the rest of the holiday weekends. Make sure to tune in at 11 o'clock, and I will see you guys coming up on the flip side.